If you're a facilities manager at a university, you know students rely on the cafeteria for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and the occasional late-night snack. So when a dishwasher breaks down and dirty plates pile up, the mess hall can turn messy in the blink of an eye. Enter Grainger. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast delivery, the product you need now is never far away. So you can turn that dishwasher back into a lean, clean washing machine. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Sorry, that's for a Democrat show.
Let me know when you're ready. Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This will allow me to report. Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver of Common Sense show. I'm on shrmedia.com.
Actually, I just totally screwed up. This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense show. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover's here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to watch a broadcast, it's very simple. Just go to Dang it. It's going to be one of those shows. Go to Reaver.1 and click on the SHR TV button. You can also go to YouTube and Facebook. Just search, if you haven't already subscribed and liked, search for SHR Media. That's not good, Jenna. That is not good at all. It's the irony. Trying to get my thoughts together here. You would think I had all day to do it. In no time, the government said this has nothing to do with ISIS. Nothing to do with ISIS. Which is really weird. They jumped on that real quick. But it's been a year now investigating Trump, and they still don't know anything. No proof, no nothing, but they keep digging and digging and digging and digging. So, while speaking to reporters Tuesday night, Clark County Sheriff Joseph Lombardo said that the motive of Stephen Paddock, the mass shooter behind 59 murders and more than 500 hospitalized, is still unknown, and that he wants to know if Paddock was radicalized in some way. Lombardo said, "I want to understand the motivation that you described, okay, to prevent any further incidents. And, did this person get radicalized unbeknownst to us? And we want to identify that source." How you doing, Dave? Welcome to the show. Lombardo did not go into any further details. As I talked about yesterday, there is a lot of question about radicalization and a connection. ISIS just doesn't go and throw its support behind false claims. That's not their MO. They have been very adamant, and they're still very adamant and celebrating that he was one of them. And the other connections we have is his live-in girlfriend, roommate, whatever she was. Is from the Philippines. Went back to the Philippines. He was sending, $100,000 to her in the Philippines. And Philippines has a large contingent of ISIS in the country. And yes, that's exactly what I'm getting at. How much time did he spend with that girlfriend? What's her background? How much time did he spend away from his family with his girlfriend? Exactly, Dave. Now there's supposed a video popping up of her in an airport before the shooting when she was on her way out, where she was making claims that something was going to happen in America. And yes, with Dave points out, Stephen Paddock's dad was on the top 10 wanted list of the FBI. He did time in a federal prison and, broke out. So it gives Stephen Paddock a reason to, not a justifiable reason, but a reason to hate the federal government, which ISIS can then use that and just, with the girlfriend, men do stupid things for sex. Very easily talked into doing things after coitus. It's yes, I'm using Big Bang Theory terminology. Coitus. The fact that our government is so quiet, and when I say quiet, our government, I'm meaning the local sheriff's department, FBI. It's been how long now? We're on Wednesday. This happened late Sunday. So we're talking almost 3 nights. 72 hours, roughly? No, 48. Oh, I suck at math doing it in my head. Man. Yeah, 72. I had it right to begin with. Why do I always do that? Question myself. And not a peep on any motives. They usually have a quick motive. An idea, at least, of why. Something's not adding up. Now we're hearing that, yes, he had bump stocks in the room, but he may not have used them. So that's causing a big controversy with all the anti-gun people. Oh, my God, he had a bump stock. A lot of experts and military personnel are... happy anniversary, Jen. It's one of my longtime listeners, Jenna. Her and her hubby's 8-year anniversary. But a lot of military personnel are saying that gunfire was not a bump stock or anything like that. And the amount of fire that came out at the time, a couple of them are saying they think it's a belt-fed type. And yes, David, if this guy ends up being a recent convert to terrorism, the establishment government doesn't want Trump having that positive. I don't want to say positive, but it would support his claims and solidify the support for Trump. So they want to keep that quiet. And I don't know, just things aren't adding up. And this is going to give a lot of controversy for years to come. Because now you got eyewitnesses said there were shooters on the ground. I was listening to one of the videos. I think it's the taxi driver. Now, why I mention it, because all of a sudden, one gunfire, you hear in the distance. She was right underneath he or she was right underneath the shooter. So when they fired their guns, you heard it. You heard it loud. And you would hear the echo. But all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you hear, and the person filming it even mentions how that one round was off in the distance. I think they're so quick to jump to try to soothe that it's not a terroristic attack that they may not have all the information. I know things are changing nonstop, but when I was listening to the scanner live, they had shooters at multiple locations. Some turned out to be false. But the question is, did this gentleman get radicalized? Listen, if he didn't get radicalized and there's another explanation, that's fine. I'm not trying to just automatically assume. And just because he's a white guy doesn't mean that he can't or couldn't have radicalized. Where did my mouse go? There it is. Just what really has me is ICE is stepping up so loud and so proud, taking credit for it. And it would do them more harm to their credibility if they falsely did it. You have the Center for Security Policy President Frank Gaffney. He was on a radio show and discussed the Las Vegas shooting and the continuing mystery around the killer, Stephen Paddock's motives. Quote, at the very time we're being told we don't know what the motive of this individual might be, it's not terrorism, Gaffney observed. I don't know how it can be both. Maybe we don't know his motivation to have been in the service of the Islamic State. But if it were, then it might well be terrorism or at least jihadism. Addressing reports that Paddock wired $100,000 to the Philippines and sent his girlfriend there shortly before launching his deadly rampage, Gaffney noted it is an ongoing crisis with Muslim minorities going back to the 19th century. He mentions interesting but explored connection to the Philippines with the guys who blew up the Maro building in Oklahoma City. We've had plots to blow up U.S. airplanes out of the Philippines, he continued. Al-Qaeda, the precursor and organization that spawned the Islamic State. We've got other Shia supremacists in that country operating in and from it. That connection has to be exhaustively explored. I'm told that the girlfriend is now in FBI custody back here in the United States, so I'll trust we will learn more about it. And I mean, just look at the news over the summer. Just go ahead and take a look this past summer. What is it, the president or whatever the hell they call of Philippines. He was in the media, what he's going to do to these ISIS terrorists that are in his country. I mean, it was all over the news. He was out there saying some of the most outlandish shit. Because he knew that ISIS was real bad in the Philippines. It just, I don't know. But Gaffney stressed that it was inappropriate for the government to declare the Las Vegas attack had nothing to do with international terrorism when it does not yet appear such connection can be definitely ruled out. I understand that before this attack, the Islamic State, which has, of course, been an extremist back in its home bases, thanks to U.S.-led assaults there, has been putting out word that they are going to attack us at home and that they're going to be going after places where large number of us are gathered. Is this exactly the profile of this episode? Well, it certainly looks like it, doesn't it? So if it's that, in fact, is true, it's another suggestion that we're dealing with does have a connection to the Shahir supremacist agenda, he contended. Brain's a little foggy right now. And what pisses me off is that we're not able to surveil these mosques. We know there's mosques that have extremist tendencies, and we're not allowed because it might offend some people. But, nobody's worried about offending us gun owners right now as they jump all over our shit, blaming everything on us. I mean, Jimmy Kimmel's doubling down, and we'll get on that in a minute. Fucking douchebag he is. I'm sick of it. I'm calling out the Democrats. You want to sit there and disarm? Well, you're the reason my dad took a bullet. You're the reason my dad was suffering all those years. Because you disarmed him. They don't like that. They're the ones that are helping ISIS do the attacks. They're the ones helping criminals by disarming us. So they want to go pointing and doing the blame game. I'll be more than glad to play that game because I know I can win that game. Yes, I can be very immature at times. I know I can. I have no problem being a little immature when it needs to be. Sometimes it's fun to be immature. Damn. I don't know what it is. Always. Like the first part of the show, I get yawn. Like the first 20 minutes, I got a yawn. And then it's like all of a sudden, just boom, I just really wake up. I took 2 B12s about 2 hours ago. That shit didn't do nothing for me. I'm not tired. I'm fully awake. I don't know what it is. I'm not boring myself. I might be boring some of you guys, but you're not boring myself, at least. And a side note real quick, because we're almost going to go to break. So last night, BZ had Dan the Man Butcher on. I know there was some technical issues, and I had posted up. And I hope BZ doesn't think I was jumping and trying to take over his post. But all the years doing this show, and one of the reasons I got the big break that I did for an everyday show was because of Dan. To give the backstory real quick, Sean had to take some time off from his daytime show. And it was supposed to only be a day or two. So he asked Dan to take over, and I was going to co-host with Dan. So here I am, the day of the show, getting ready. I get contacted a half hour before, and Dan's unfortunately had to back out. Something popped up, and he had to back out. And his thing was, well, Joe can handle it. I have faith in him. So here I am. I have no material, no nothing, don't know what the hell I'm doing, going, oh, shit. But it was Dan that him and Sean talked and felt that I would be able to handle it. But I digress off the subject. I told Dan I've never had you on my show. And it wasn't done purposely. It's just we've done election specials together. We've done a couple of shootings where we had breaking news. A couple of us got on air and we discussed it. We've done a roundtable type discussion one night. But it was and it wasn't meant to be, and I feel bad. I would never invited him to come on my show. So he's like, hell yeah. He's like, I thought I did come on your show. Because somebody else was like, oh, it's a great time on the show. And it's like, damn. I feel like an idiot because I never invited him before. So we're going to have Dan the Man soon. I just got to work out, you know. I know it's just going to be, hey, can you come on this night? Yeah, okay. Cool. So we're going to hit a break real quick. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. And we will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cat for the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to shrmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m., Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here. We have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday. And if you want to watch it live stream, oh, it's so easy. So easy, even a liberal can do it. Just go to Reaver.one and click on the SHR TV button. Also, you can go to YouTube or Facebook and just search for SHR Media if you are not already subscribed to the Facebook or YouTube channels. So, Jimmy Kimmel last night doubled down, and he's doubled down on his attack on gun rights advocates during Tuesday night's monologue, defending the deceptive gun control rant he issued in tears one night earlier and mocked gun nuts who called him out on it. Mr. Tissue paper feelings. Everything he does anymore, he starts crying. The funny part is, he's been taking cues from Chuck Schumer. And that's one of the things Chuck Schumer loves to do. He loves to cry when something's not going his way. And now you got Jimmy Kimmel. And he's going to tell us the proper way to live life. He's going to instruct us the morals. Now, anybody remember how one of his big starts, the Man Show, where he was drinking beer and having women jump up and down on trampolines in front of them so they can bounce their boobs and ass in front of them? That's sort of how you got it. One of his starts. That's Mr. Morality there. Mr. Morality that's trying to tell us how to live their life. But he started out, I want to send a special good wishes to those watching from Las Vegas. You know what happened on Sunday night. I'm not going to go deep into it again tonight. I said what I had to say last night. And it was Adam Carolla and Jimmy Kimmel was the Man Show. Adam Carolla was the main guy. He was the co-host. Kimmel was the co-host. I know. The only reason why I remember is because I read an article. I remember Adam Carolla with that show. And I knew Jimmy Kimmel came from something stupid. And that's what it was. But he goes on, but I do want to say something to those nuts who spent most of the day on television and online attacking those of us who think we need to do something about the fact 59 innocent people were killed. Well, Mr. Funny Man, let me ask you a question. What did you do when 59 people got killed in Nice, Paris? Did you want to ban a fucking truck? Mr. Funny Man, how about the fact that about 50 to 55 people get killed every goddamn weekend in Chicago with black-on-black murder rate? But you don't cry for them, do you, Mr. Funny Man? You don't even bring them up. But he goes on, he says, they say it's inappropriate to talk about it because it's too soon. Well, maybe it's too soon for you because deep down inside, you know, in your heart, you know you bear some responsibility for the fact that almost anyone can get any weapon they want. And now you want to cover yourself until the storm of outrage passes and you can go back to your dirty business as usual. And he went on to talk how Trump overturned an Obama law. I love that, an Obama law. He overturned, which he can't do, he overturned a executive order that Obama took upon himself to let mentally ill get guns. Of course, that wasn't it. What they're talking about is Obama, by a stroke of a pen, stopped people on Social Security that have financial issues, not mental, financial issues. He took away their right to own guns. Obama, by a swipe of his pen, took away people's Second Amendment rights because they have financial issues. So they're, oh my God, he did away with it. Mentals can go buy guns. Anybody can go buy any type of weapon. That's what he says, any type of weapon. You can't buy machine guns. And now it's coming out because everybody jumped to the conclusion there was a bump stock in the room, but it may not have been used. We still don't know the exact weapons that were actually used. No official list. They told us how many. Some of the types that he's owned. I want a gun that goes pew, pew, pew. So he's out there running his mouth. You know? But perhaps some of those who criticize Kimmel for pushing gun control too soon were correct. Remember when it's a Muslim does something, we get told to sit back, don't jump to conclusions. Oh, my God, it's a white man and a gun. Oh, my God, ban guns, ban guns. Oh, my God, it's the white man's fault. Not sit back and, you know, hey, let's see what's going on. What should I do, whether it's a Muslim, whether it's black, white, pink, purple? Let's get the facts. He offered no apology for his deception because, and we're going to go over it in just a few moments, he threw out a bunch of lies about guns and the numbers. He just lied his ass off because people are too fucking stupid anymore to get on Google and look it up. And Hillary's out there, 91 people a day die from gun violence. 2/3 of that number are people that commit suicide. Do I want people committing suicide? No, because I go, oh, you don't care about suicide. Yeah, I do. But if you're willing to put a bullet in your head or a body to kill yourself, you take the gun away, they're still going to kill themselves, you fucking morons. So we're down to like 30 people a day. And you know how much of that comes from Chicago black on black murder rate? But they don't want to talk about that. Never. They don't want to talk about how gun ownership has gone up drastically. Gun violence has dropped down. Oh, they never want to talk about those. And from what we're hearing, this gun owner, the shooter, this nut job, purchased most of these guns that we know of through stores with a background check. He's never done a fucking thing wrong in his life. From what we understand, he doesn't even have a parking ticket. So he wouldn't have got flagged. He still would have been able to buy the weapons. But why did he need so many? Why do you need a fucking car that does 200 miles per hour? Why do you need a motorcycle that does 200 miles per hour? Why do you need rock climbing gear? Why do you need a truck that's jacked up? God knows how many feet in the air. And yes, they do cause deaths. I mean, this guy had no criminal history, so guess what? Background checks did nothing. The guy purchased 3 guns within the last year from Nevada, where the store manager said the attacker came across as a normal guy, said the attacker had no criminal history, and indicated that he passed an FBI background check for his firearms. Kimmel was correct on one point. There is nothing in the attacker's past that signal a problem. But everybody keeps saying that there's things Congress can do to stop these from happening. Everybody else says we could do things to stop this from happening. What? Oh, background checks. Mental health. We have that. Oh, close the loopholes. I thought we were going to have a conversation with something new here. Nope. Same old tired bullshit. Same old tired bullshit over and over and over again. No new ideas. The same tired ideas. Same tired ideas over and over again. That's funny, Dave. It's funny. But Kimmel said that the Orlando, Aurora, Newtown, San Bernardino, and every one of these shootings and murders use automatic and semi-automatic rifle. The inclusion of the word automatic is very misleading. In all 4 instances, the rifles used were semi-automatic, period. Pistols were also present. Moreover, Kimmel did not mention that 3 of the 4 instances, the attacker acquired their guns via background check, except to this would be the rifles used in San Bernardino. They were acquired via a friend, but the San Bernardino handguns were acquired via background check, and the guns used by the Newtown attackers were stolen. He stole them from someone who passed a background check for them. Let's go one step further. He killed his mother and stole them from her. Kimmel made the classic leftist claim that AR-15s and the like are not weapons used for self-defense. In doing so, he ignored the report of a Houston boy who used his father's AR-15 to defend his sister's life during a home invasion. He ignores the fact that Homeland Security, prior to Obama and his rhetoric, had the AR-15 listed as the best home defense weapon. He ignores the fact that it's one of the most popular hunting rifles right now. I mean, there's time and time where AR-15 has been used to save lives, too. So they are weapons used for self-defense. He accused President Trump, as I talked about this, signing a bill that would make it easier for people with severe mental illness to buy guns legally. And this is a reference to Trump's repeal of Obamacare's Social Security gun ban. A gun ban that actually not directed towards people with severe mental illness, but towards recipients of disability benefits who required help with finances. Yes, mental help labels were given to these people, but those labels could reference easily treatable and temporary conditions. This is why Duke University psychiatrist and behavioral science professor Jeffrey Swanson said Obama's Social Security ban targeted the vulnerable rather than the dangerous. Now, he also said that House Speaker Paul Ryan and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell won't do anything about the attack because the NRA has their balls in a money clip. In reality, it has been reported that NRA-supported legislation revolving around concealed carry reciprocation has stalled because of Paul Ryan. All right, we got more to go on this. We're going to get on the other side of the break. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello. I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires, due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network, to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to shrmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, live rebooting liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m., Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. You know what, Dave? Dave, the unpleasant blind guy, is in the chat room, and he said the super leftist Democrats here in Vermont got in power and stay in power because they leave the guns alone. And you know what? Since, 2010, when you really started talking about gun control, what's happened to the Democrat Party? They have been going downhill. They've been getting voted out. This latest push may push them even further. They want to keep pushing this. That's why there is a couple that are kind of trying to do the soft core. We want gun control. We want sensible gun control. Yeah. They're trying to whip the base up, but they're not trying to push anything. There's a couple that are. And they know they got a tough uphill battle coming in the 2018. And they pushed gun control too far. Yeah, I know California that's pretty much a deadlock with some of those idiots that in that state. But for the rest of them, I don't know. It's going to be tight. They might lose even more with this rhetoric they're doing. It might hurt them even more. And that's what Democrats don't. I don't know if they're believing their own hype or they're just that stupid. So, I get back to Kimmel and his lies. Kimmel said, right now there are loopholes in the law that let people avoid background checks if they buy a gun privately from another party, if they buy a gun online or at a gun show. For starters, there is no loophole. The Second Amendment was ratified in 1791, and since that point and before, Americans have been buying guns from Americans. It is not a loophole. It is a freedom. The left pushed background checks and secured them on retail sales in 1998, i.e., there have been background checks on retail sales for nearly 2 decades, and the left has spent the last 4 or 5 years inaccurately describing private sales as a loophole, as a way to persuade Americans to support more gun control. Also, it must be noted that it is illegal to buy a gun online without going through a background check. And I know that for a fact. I'm in the process of building an AR-15. When I bought the lower receiver, it was bought online. It had to be shipped to a FFL gun dealer, where I then went in and did a background check. This is a straight-out lie that they tell all the time. My father-in-law pushes this one, and I love when he does it because I know I'm winning the argument. Well, you can go into gun shows and buy without background. No, that's not exactly true. If you're buying from a company that is at a gun show, they have to do a background check. If it is a private sales, yes, I know you can still, and I think they still are requiring down here. But if I want to sell to my brother, I don't need to go to the government, ask mother, may I, from the government. If I want to sell to my father, if I want to sell to my best friend, we want to swap guns, I don't need mother, may I. I'm an adult. The lies that they tell to try to push their gun control. Kimmel showed a collage containing the photos of senators who voted against closing the fictional private sale, online sale, and gun show loophole after the June 12th, 2016 Orlando Pulse attack. He did not mention that Orlando Pulse attacker did not use these loopholes. Rather, he passed background checks and waited in the waiting period for his firearm. See, here in Florida, if you go to buy a gun and you don't have a concealed carry, you go in, you do your background check. You wait 3 days. You can come pick your gun up. Or whatever you're buying. Rifle, gun. If you have a concealed carry, because you've gone through extensive background checks with the state and federal government, and you're entrusted to carry concealed, you can go in there, you do your background check, you can walk out with your gun. The Pulse shooter did not have a concealed carry permit, so he had to wait 3 days. Now, Kimmel went on for his last big hurrah and said, Kimmel said Congress is now working to legalize the sale of silencers. In reality, silencers, they're suppressors. And they are properly called and have been legal and are legal in 42 states. They are widely owned and used by hunter and sports shooters because of hearing protection benefits they offer. What Congress is considering and got shelved is a bill that removes the federal tax on suppressors, as well as the burdensome acquisition process to obtain one. They have been legal. You could still buy them now. They were making the process just a little bit less burdensome and without the heavy federal tax stamp. So, changing a few words changes the whole meaning of how things are going. Now, another article I came across, and I love these because they do help people. It's Arguing with an Ignorant Gun Grabber. Here are 5 basic facts to help. Now, hopefully some of the information isn't the same that we're going over. If it is, I'm just going to jump over it and not even talk about it. Are you a responsible gun owner who appreciates your Second Amendment right? Have you recently been accused of supporting mass murder by a Twitter troll who thinks semi-automatic weapons can shoot 4,671 rounds in half a second? Oh, there's a video. I got to stop right here. There's a video someone did. So, he tells you he's going to show you how to turn your weapon in under 5 minutes into a fully automatic weapon. And his military spec butter knife is needed. That's all the tools you need. And he takes a handgun. And you have to understand the inner working of a handgun. And there's a major spring that helps with the reloading. It just says, just take that out. That's your anti-auto fire spring. So you take that out. And then the top just racks back and forth at will. In other words, the gun's not going to fire. It's not going to work at all. He takes an AR-15 and he pops it open. And what he does is he takes the BCG out, which is the bolt carrier group, which is the firing pin. He takes it out. And he says that's the he gives it some anti-automatic rifle thingamabobber. And he goes, you put the gun together, and now it'll fire 70,000 rounds per minute. He goes, then the last step you have to do is call the FBI or ATF if you got a local, whoever is your local agency. Give them your name, address, Social Security. Give them the serial number on your weapon. Tell them you just turned your full AR-15 into fully automatic. That's the last of the process you have to do. Oh, my God, people are jumping on him. What are you doing letting people know how to make fully auto weapons? He took the fucking firing pin out of a gun. And they're like, well, we didn't watch. We don't want to watch how that's done. That's illegal. We don't want to watch it. Everybody's like, you're a fucking moron. You are a moron. It just shows how gullible these half-wits, nerf herders really are. They actually thought this guy was showing them how that you could turn a rifle into a fully automatic rifle with a, as he called it, his mil-spec butter knife. By using a table knife. It's just, oh my God, I can't believe it. I could not believe it. These people are, well, I know, he was scruffy looking. He looked like he knew what he was, I mean, the guy knows what he's talking about. He's just, the other thing, everybody's like, yeah, that's probably going around Antifa right now big time. I see on the internet they're really pushing that Antifa is supposed to be doing some big attack on November 4th. Something big. Yeah, I'll hold my breath. I'll just hold my breath. Oh, God. What's this? Stop gutting federal gun laws. Block the concealed. Oh, yes. Concealed Carry Reciprocation Act. Ban weapons of war. Oh, my God. These people are idiots. The AR-15's a weapon of war. Oh, God. That right there tells me. Oh, my God. I gotta have a talk with my friend and smack her in the head. I can't believe she actually signed that. But as I said, I was going to go over these 5 facts. I'll try to get through a couple of them. But about 0.003% of all U.S. guns are used in homicide each year. According to the most recent data available from the CDC, there were 11,008 firearm-related homicide deaths in 2014. That's a rate about 3.5 people for every 100,000, or roughly 0.003% of the total U.S. population. For the sake of argument, let's assume that one gun was used per homicide, given that there are an estimated 310 million guns in circulation. This would mean that roughly 0.004% of all firearms in the United States were used in homicide in 2014. Broken down another way, that's one gun out of every 28,161. If you adjust for the fact that a single gun is often used in more than one homicide, that number drops even lower. You're much more likely to fall to your death than get killed by gunfire. Contrary to hyperbole left-wing talking points, death by gun homicide isn't a very common cause of death among Americans. In fact, firearm homicides didn't even make the list of the top 15 cause of death in the United States in 2014. CDC data shows you were about 3 times more likely to die from a fall than you were of being shot to death in 2014. While gun ownership has doubled, gun homicides have dropped by half. Additionally, the likelihood of you getting shot to death hasn't increased with the rise in gun ownership. In fact, quite the opposite. While gun ownership in the United States rose by about 56% between 1993 and 2013, the firearm-related homicide rate dropped by half over the same time frame. Big, scary guns are used to kill people far less than ordinary handguns. According to the most recent FBI data, 9,616 people were murdered with firearms in 2015. Of those, 6,477, about two-thirds, were shot to death with a handgun. Only 252 people, about 0.0008% of the entire U.S. population, were murdered with rifles, marking the lowest number in 5 years. In fact, 1,292 more people were stabbed to death than shot with a rifle in 2015. If you're one of the tragically inept who enormously blames an inanimate object rather than the human perpetrator for a crime, then based on the faulty logic, you'd be better off banning handguns than the scary-looking AR-15, except that you can't, given a slew of recent court decisions upholding the handgun ownership is a constitutional right under the Second Amendment for law-abiding citizens, and considering that the criminal doing all the killing would pay attention to your ban anyway. Fully automatic weapons. They have been banned in the general public since 1986. Does your anti-gunner naysayer and the life want to ban military-grade assault weapons that can mow down a crowd of people with a single pull of a trigger? Good news, we already have done that. It's called the Hughes Amendment. It was added to the Firearm Owners Protection Act of 1986. The amendment largely outlawed the possession, sale, and transfer of machine guns, save for those that were grandfathered in and now must be registered. These extremely expensive weapons can only be legally obtained from a licensed dealer following an extensive background check and an arduous application process, which does not come with automatic approval. Handy note, this amendment is also the same one that banned sawed-off shotguns. Contrary to common left-wing allegations, most notable gun owners are more than happy to engage in discussion about gun ownership and its impact on public safety. What they're not okay with is having a constitutional rights threatened by a liberal mob that mentally devoid of basic facts. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit. We will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires, due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network, to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as is the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to shrmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m., Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe. I'm here to make sense out of the senseless, and I try. Don't forget, coming up top of the hour in about, 51 minutes, will be the Sackheads Radio Show. Not sure exactly who will be on tonight. Probably Clint, BZ, and I think Sean. They should all be there tonight. Yes, I got your new promo, and I have a whole SHR packet that I forgot to play. What I do want to play is I have a 5-minute clip from one of our hosts. Okay, Dan Butcher will guest tonight. Okay. Yeah, I think Sackhead Sean's out of town this week. So I'm going to play a few minutes of personal finance from our great Melanie. And let's play this before we get on with the rest of the show.
Welcome to this week's 5 Minutes of Personal Finance. This week we talk about employment and career scams. Yes, people are out there scamming people who are looking for jobs, which really, really stinks. So we're going to talk about a few, what they look like, how to recognize them. For example, career consulting scams. Here's what it looks like. A career consultant will email you and say they're super duper impressed with your resume and they'd like to represent you. And really what they're doing is they're trying to pitch their product or service and trying to get money out of your pocket. There are several recruiting scams. Recruiters will contact you. They'll say that they have clients with positions that you could be qualified for. And usually this is just another attempt to sell you something rather than recruit you for an actual job. Always, another one, you have to be aware of are phishing scams. Any attempt to get personal information via email is always an opportunity, and this is not just job and career scams. You have to be careful about phishing. If you can't apply directly to that job, then be very aware that it's probably an attempt to get your personal information, your personal contact information for some type of identity theft. Another big one is shipping scams. These are work-at-home opportunities where they will actually tell you that they will ship you office equipment and things like that, and all you have to do is front the money up front. They will pay you back with a fake check that will clear at first and then eventually be returned, and you'll be left holding a bag. It's a really bad situation. There are also unemployment scams. These are people, criminals, who will offer to help you with to file unemployment insurance for a fee, which you don't have to pay a fee to file unemployment. There's no benefit to doing that. You can do so through your home state with no problem. In fact, it's against the law. So contact your state unemployment office if ever you want to file unemployment. Another one is called a bait and switch scam. This is a scam in which you apply for a job and they pick you for an interview. Lucky you. But during the interview, you discover that the job that you applied for actually doesn't exist. And they want you for something completely different. This is a job that nobody wants. Absolutely nobody wants. But they're going to try to convince you to take the job. Another big one is direct deposit scams. Never, ever, ever, here's the deal, give out your banking information in order to get a job over the internet. Now, one would think this would be common sense, but these people can be very, very convincing. Rule of thumb, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So that is this week's 5 Minutes of Personal Finance. Be very careful. Look out for employment and career scams. These people mean you no good. Remember, all of this is very important because it is your money.
All right, that's great, Melanie. I love her clips. Hopefully we'll be getting more of them soon. I was going to bring in something else and just totally went out of my head. Oh, yeah, that's what I want to remember. All I got to say is 15 minutes. 15 minutes, and the Philadelphia Flyers hockey season starts. 5 rookies we have this year, where the game is in San Jose, and it starts at 10:30. So you know what? I'll be turning my TV to and be glancing over for the last half hour of the show. Sorry, people. First game of the year. Got to check out the beginning. So, yeah, they're in San Jose. Oh, Jose, can you see? Oh, let's see. Ooh, fat-ass Michael Moore. This piece of shit is out there in the public and running his mouth. Except he thinks it's time to repeal the Second Amendment and replace it with a 28th Amendment that puts the public safety ahead of an individual's right to own and fire a gun. Well, if you're going to do that, let's make sure that there's no more private security for government officials, actors, fat-ass wannabe directors, anybody. They don't get. And they can't have walls around their houses. Make sure that's in the amendment if they want to take it out. In the wake of the Las Vegas massacre, fat-ass Michael Moore said in a lengthy Facebook post that the ancient and outdated Second Amendment was written before bullets and revolvers were even invented. Hey, jackass. The hell just happened? Oh, light bulb just blew out behind me. Oh, I was like, am I having a stroke? It's getting dark in here. Am I having a stroke? You know, and he talks that it's outdated and the bullets weren't around and the revolvers weren't even invented. Hey, TV wasn't invented. Radio wasn't invented. The printing press as we know it, the internet, but we enjoy freedom of speech on all these markets. But it wasn't around when the First Amendment was written, you jackass, and you could do just as much harm with your asinine comments. Yeah, I'm sure he's still going to want his bodyguards. God, how many does it take to guard his body? I mean, that's like, what, a whole platoon to get around his fat ass? Now, his proposed amendment says individuals can use guns for sports and gathering foods, but there are heavy restrictions on how guns can be purchased, what type of guns are available to the public, and where they can be stored. Hey, Michael, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself with a porcupine. Better yet, a cactus. Go fuck yourself with a cactus. The Second Amendment is not outdated and ancient. You want a government that rules, and you know you can't have that type of government, knowing that the people can defend themselves. I'd like to get in touch with this fucker and have a nice conversation with him. Because if you listen to the show, you know where I'm going to go with this. Explain to me how disarming my father made sure that he did not have a gun that day. With the state of New Jersey saying he could not carry a gun. How did that help him the day a fucking criminal walked into his work carrying a gun illegally? Explain to me that. I'll get to, well, you're going to have incidents. You're going to have a lot more incidents, you dumb, fat piece of shit. Because criminals, they want you to do this. They want you to disarm the people. It makes their job easier. Oh, I know he's still good, but he won't be able to answer. He'll sit there like a blubbering whale that he is. Yes, I'm attacking him for his fat, gelatinous, hollowed head. And yes, I could do it too because I'm a fat ass myself. Bastard. You notice, it should tell that nobody likes him. His movies have gone downhill over the years. He had one or two that kind of hit big, and everything else has bottom. He is a bottom feeder. He's worse than a catfish. I hate catfish, too. Caught 2 of them last Saturday. This can come to an end with the repeal of the Second Amendment and replacing it with the 28th Amendment. He acknowledges that we can never eliminate murder, but we can join the community of enlightened nations where gun violence is not a daily tragedy. You notice his fat ass only speaks up when there's a mass murder? Again, the left doesn't say shit about the black-on-black murder rate that's going on in Chicago. They're silent about that. Because they're too scared to open up. Oh. This guy just... And then he went into the specifics about the amendment, which would allow states and the federal government to pass laws that would regulate gun ownership in the following way. As over 90% of gun violence is committed by men, in order for a man to purchase a gun, he must first get a waiver from his current wife, plus his most recent ex-wife, or any woman with whom he is currently in a relationship. What happened to... but if we had it where a woman had to ask permission, that would be sexist. Now, this law has greatly reduced most spousal and domestic gun murders in Canada. If he likes Canada so much, why doesn't he move his fat ass there? All automatic and semi-automatic guns are banned. No gun or clip can hold more than 6 bullets. To activate a gun for it to be used, the trigger must recognize the fingerprint of its registered owner. This will eliminate most crimes committed with a gun, as 80% of these crimes are done with a stolen gun. So, those guns really don't exist and work well. That's how dumb his ass is. One gun must be stored at a licensed gun club or government-regulated gun storage facility. Believing that have guns in your home provides you with protection is an American myth. People who die from home invasion make up a sad but minuscule 0.04 of all gun murders in the U.S., and over a third of them are killed by their own guns that criminals has either stolen or wrestled from them. Oh my God, this guy's delusional. To open and operate a gun, one must obtain a license. Like the one does to operate a car. To get a license, you have to complete a gun training and safety course and pass a thorough background check. As nearly half of all gun deaths are suicide, mental health care must become a top national health priority and must be properly funded, and by making it more difficult to purchase a gun and requiring its storage outside the home, easily accessed during a suicidal moment is denied. Here's the problem. Does he realize when they push this stuff, and I know the answer, that it will stop people from going and getting help for fear of being put on a government list? So what they're doing is having a bunch of people running around with no help that have mental issues because of fear the government is going to interfere with their lives? They don't realize that part. That they're stopping people from going and getting help. I know someone who might be having a drinking problem. He won't get help. Why? Because he's a fear that's going to get put on his health records. Then the government will put it on, and he'll never be able to buy a gun again. So he won't get any help. And that's what they're doing when they push all this, that the federal government has to turn over all your mental health records. Your doctor has to turn it over to the federal government. They're going, I don't want that. And they're not getting treated now. Holy shit, is this guy dumb. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media. And actually, hold on. I'm going to change it up. Good friend BZ sent me an SHR promo pack, so I'm going to play that. We'll be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. till 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always Be right. The Right Guy on SHR Media.
Power brokers use corrupt politicians, deceptive Islam, and lies from establishment media to turn the once shining city on a hill into the city of the blind. What do the elites fear? One man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me at SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Spreaker, iTunes, and YouTube for a different kind of commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the Bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to SHRmedia.com.
And welcome back as I'm running around trying to get everything back up and going. Sorry about that. Changing a light bulb and kind of had trouble finding it. And then, of course, when I found it, I had to hold it above my head and tell my wife I had an idea. Now, here's the... Whoa, what the hell's vibrating at me now? Now, here's another one that makes me laugh my ass off. When we get these actors and actresses that want to lecture us about guns, but how do they make their money off of violent gun movies? Yeah, they do. They do, Dave. I'll agree 100% with you. I'm trying to switch all over to them now. Not long ago, one of the big chains around here had a big sale on them, and I bought a bunch of them. I love them. They're lower wattage, and they're brighter, and they seem to... I mean, they shouldn't technically break on you because they're just... It's not a light bulb. Damn it. Change subject real quick. Did you see the videos? Trump at the hospital seeing the injured from the shooting. And Melania goes into one room first, and the guy stands up. And she tries telling him not to stand up. He got shot in the leg. And Trump was outside talking to a nurse or something. So he sits back down on the bed for a minute, and Trump walks in. And he stands up again. And his comment was, it doesn't matter who it was. He was standing up, hell or high water, for the president. The president was coming in to see him. He was going to stand up. And you know what? What's going on? Huh. That's weird. I give that guy credit. I do. Because, you know, he could be a douchebag, but the president's coming in to see him, and as he said, it doesn't matter. The president is the president, and he was going to stand up and show respect. And he screwed up my broadcast. Let's see if that's it. Yes. All right. I just noticed top of my head's missing. There we go. Somehow the camera got adjusted. All right, there we go. It was like the top part of my head was missing. I'm like, why the hell? Somehow my camera got bumped down. But that's here or there. That sucks. The game's supposed to start at 10:30. It is now 10:30. And the Ducks still pretty much, or the St. Louis Blues and Pittsburgh Penguins have pretty much a full period still to go. So, of course, they're not going to cut away from that game. So the Flyers lose. It's going to be like the whole first period I'm going to miss. That pissed me off. Rat bastards. Rat bastards. Oh, I don't know. It's... Oh, that's going to drive me nuts. All right, back to the actual broadcast. Sorry about that. He's shiny keys over in the distance had me distracted for a moment. Jessica Chastain. Actually, I do have the NHL Center Ice. I pay, it's like $111 just to watch the Flyers because that's all I really watch. I'm not into watching all the hockey games and all that. I just watch my Flyers. That's it, and I'm happy with it. So, no, because it's on a national broadcast. That's what I was looking at. That's why I got a little quiet. I pulled up the NHL Center Ice, and it won't play it because it's on national TV, even though it's not going to be broadcasted now because this game's running late. Jeez, crickets. It's the one big splurge me and my wife do. It's the one thing we shouldn't, but we do. Trying to watch the games down here because we only watch the Flyers, and we're down here in Tampa. So, all right, Jessica Chastain has made a lot of money off of violent movies, but now wants people to know American gun laws are bad. Chastain tweeted late Tuesday night, "Welcome to America, where you have to wait 6 months to get an X-ray, but hey, you could buy an AR-15 in 5 minutes flat." Now, here, and I agree with on that one, Chastain, or I don't know. Is that a knock on Obamacare? That you have to wait 6 months? But I don't know about you. I've never had to wait 6 months for an X-ray before. Maybe a week, if that. But never 6 months. But you can get an AR-15 in 5 minutes flat. Exactly. I know you were typing that as you heard that. It's a knock on Obamacare then. Not a knock on our gun system. And you know what? It takes more than 5 minutes, and I know it does. I bought a couple AR-15s. And it's usually, depending on how busy it is, from start to finish about a half hour, 45 minutes. You know, you get in there, you bullshitting, picking out the gun. If it's busy on background check line, you know, paying for it and getting out of there. It's usually, 30 to 45 minutes. But what she's trying to make is a bunch of bullshit. And if she's waiting 6 months for the X-ray, her insurance sucks. Her insurance sucks donkey dick, as my wife would say. Not me, my wife. But it pissed me off when these overpaid people who dress up and pretend to be other people want to lecture us as they make millions of dollars making these violent movies, these shoot-'em-up movies, but then tell us. Then they tell us, hey, you shouldn't be doing that. It's dangerous. It's the hypocrites of the left. If they really thought that about guns, they wouldn't be out there making those movies, now would they? The line is a quote also from her failed pro-gun movie, Miss Sloane. And it's also just a straight lie. The writer goes on, it didn't take me 5 minutes last time I bought an AR-15. It took me 7. Now, let's take a little of time to look at Chastain's movie lineup. She obviously would never star in a movie that promotes violence. That's just common sense. But she has. I think they had a list of everything, and I'm not that serious into this that I want to do it. But I just thought it was funny. Exactly, Dave. It's, you got to look at the trigger adjustment. You got to look at the sights. Holy shit, our sights are getting expensive nowadays. Damn. You can almost spend more money on sights and a scope than you can the gun. But yeah, actually the grips aren't that bad. Well, I'm also talking AR-15. They're not that bad. Depending on what you want. I like a nice pistol type, each finger. That one's like $20. That ain't that bad. But some of these parts, holy shit. I've been looking at them all together. I mean, some of these, a charging handle that's like a $9, $10 part. I've seen them for $100. I'm like, holy shit, it's just a charging handle. You just grab it, pull it back, you're done. If I'm going to get a charging handle and I'm going to pay $100, when I pull back, that thing better give me a hand job at the same time. Holy shit. I don't know. And this one, I don't know why these two actresses decided to do this. Jennifer Lawrence tried this, and her movie flopped. I mean, it opened to a, $7.8 million opening? But who the hell is it? Ellen Pompeo and Olivia Wilde. Now, Ellen Pompeo or Pompeo, she's best known for his role as Meredith Grey in the television show Grey's Anatomy. Although she has also appeared in films like Old School and Catch Me If You Can, she started the brouhaha with a tweet telling Trump supporters to go fuck themselves. So nice. No such thing as racism anymore. Go fuck yourself. Trump supporter was the hashtag, especially the women. And it only got worse from there. You're misguided because that tweet was meant exactly for people like you. Do me a favor, doll. Go stick your head back in the sand. We'll let you know when it's safe to come out. She then fired off a tweet telling Trump supporters she didn't want them as fans. Newsflash, I don't want Trump supporters for fans, Einstein. Even when female Trump supporters who were fans of her reacted with sadness, she still refused to back down. Good for you wanting your pussy grabbed. You go, girl. You cannot support a racist and not be one yourself. Not sure why you even like me. I have completely different set of values. And she made sure to let everyone know that this was all her. No. This is me. No chill. Straight savage when it comes to doing the right thing. Doing the right thing may be ending your career, honey. Oh. When you got that many Trump supporters, because basically it's been about 50-50, so 50% of the country, roughly. And you're going to go out there and stick your fingers in their eyes and tell them, fuck you. What do you expect? Now, it didn't end there because Olivia Wilde, who is known for her role in House and movies like Tron Legacy, also jumped on the anti-Trump train. As an American and as an Elton John fan, I am mortified. Trumpy trolls defending racism as free speech and threatening to boycott my movies. Please fucking do. This may not work out well for them as they think it will, though. Trump supporters make up a large part of the population, and if their parts start dying up, then will their so-called principles have been worth it? You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit. Oh, I got to change it up. And we will be right back.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch Reaver of Common Sense show hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else. So consider this your fair warning.
Hello, I'm Tim Hart. I'm the guy BZ hires, due to his shameless contract with the SHR Media Network, to voice his promos. He'd like me to tell you that the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show can be found on SHR Media Network, Spreaker, and YouTube every Tuesday and Thursday night at 11 p.m. Eastern and 8 p.m. Pacific, featuring right thinking from a left brain and doing the job the American media maggots won't. You'll find that the speech is free, but the drinks are not. There, in the saloon, just when safety pin manufacturers are running out of metal for the diapers of the leftists, BZ is sending his personal drones of freedom into the wheelhouses and ossicles of lovers of sovereignty and liberty nationally and globally. Broadcasting behind enemy lines in occupied California, BZ swears that no rights were harmed in the making of this promo.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. You didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying cop for the stupid promo.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Hey, it's Sean from the Sackheads Radio Show, also one of the owners here at the SHR Media Network. Are you opinionated? Have you ever wanted to do your own show? Have you ever heard somebody like the Sackheads and go, yeah, I could probably do that better? Well, now's your chance. Send me a 5-minute clip at sackheadsradio@gmail.com, and maybe you can be part of the SHR broadcasting team. sackheadsradio@gmail.com.
This is Jersey Joe, host of the Reaver of Common Sense, and you're listening to shrmedia.com.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the Unpleasant Blind Guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
Human by race, Christian by faith, American by nationality, and conservative by choice. Reverend Ralph J. Chittum Sr. is the right guy on SHR Media from 8:05 to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. And if on the rare occasion I am ever wrong, I will still always be right. The right guy on SHR Media.
Listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show.
And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm here to make sense out of the senseless. Don't forget, hey, in about 13 minutes will be the Sackheads radio show hosted by, where the hell did that go? I dropped something. Sackhead, Clint, BZ, and I believe special guest, Dan the Man Butcher. And BZ's in the chat room. I'm sure he'll correct me if I'm wrong on that. But we were talking about some of these actresses, and they're going out their Trump supporters, and, you know, they think their careers can last by telling fans to piss off. And not just like one or two. They're talking about thousands, hundreds of thousands, or tens of thousands at least, to piss off. Do you really want to do that? I don't understand that. Because let me tell you, if I am a producer, I would be questioning whether I want to bring in certain actors because of their mouth on Twitter, where they're willing to go after the customers and alienate those customers to make sure that they don't buy the product. But of course, you got directors that are too thick in the head to probably look at that point. But it's, I don't know, these are idiots. I just want to bang my head on the wall. To get off of all the gun things and everything else. A federal judge in Phoenix Wednesday formally dismissed the criminal case against former Maricopa County Sheriff Joe Apiro, accepting President Donald Trump's pardon of the controversial lawman. If anybody would have remembered, this judge had said that they may not dismiss the case, that they don't have to dismiss the case. Well, the judge actually did. The U.S. District Judge Susan Bolton dismissed Apiro's conviction with prejudice, meaning the matter cannot be tried again. Bolton held off on ruling on Apiro's request to throw out all orders in the case, including a blistering 14-page ruling in which the judge explained her original reasoning in finding that Apiro was guilty of a crime. Apiro was convicted in July of criminal contempt for what Bolton described as flagrant disregard of a 2011 court order to halt traffic patrols that targeted migrants. Even the prosecutor stated that it was confusing, the original orders, and that they could see where it was troublesome to put in place. But it is what it is. Trump pardoned Apiro on August 25th, setting off a firestorm of criticisms from legal advocates and congressional Democrats. More than 30 of them asked Bolton to declare the pardon invalid and move forward with sentencing. Apeiro's attorney, Mark Goldman, described the attempted intervention by lawmakers as despicable. What are our Democratic congressmen doing, asked Goldman, who described the lawmakers as narcissistic idiots, making a statement where they have no standing to make any statement whatsoever. The former sheriff, who didn't attend Wednesday hearing in federal court, was accused of continuing the patrols for 17 months so that he could promote his immigration enforcement efforts to boost his successful 2012 re-election campaign. Bolton's ruling cited television interviews and so forth. Now, Apeiro, where was it? Critics say the pardon removed the last chance at holding Apeiro legally accountable for the long history of misconduct, which I don't see as misconduct because he was upholding laws. It was Obama's overreach. This wasn't even a trial. This was a kangaroo court. So the prosecutor, John Kelly, said it was inappropriate to dismiss the case against Apeiro. This prosecution is over, Keller said. The defendant will never be held accountable for his contempt of Judge Snow's injunction. Bolton has previously said case law suggests a pardon doesn't erase a recipient's underlying record of conviction. Instead, is aimed at lessening or canceling punishment. The pardon had previously led the judge to cancel Apeiro's sentencing hearing. Lawyers who won the racial profiling verdict against Apeiro had argued earlier that the decision explaining the guilty verdict should remain intact to serve as a rebuke of the sheriff's action and as a deterrent to any other politician who might want to disobey a judge's order. Since the pardon, Apeiro has said he did nothing wrong, criticized Bolton as biased, and called the offense behind his conviction a petty crime. Now, this one is the one that, reload. I just couldn't believe, actually. All right, I got to check something real quick. I'm sorry. They actually changed the channels that the game was going to start on. Good. All right. Game just started. Woohoo! Go Flyers. Go Flyers. Beat San Jose. Beat San Jose. Geraldo Rivera is sticking up for Trump and blast the fake news report about Trump's visit to Puerto Rico, which is amazing. He actually attacked the fake news for their reporting on President Trump and the Puerto Rico visit. For one, they've been trying to say that cholera in a U.S. territory among U.S. citizens in the 21st century, heck of a job, Trumpy. They've been trying to say, New York Times columnist Paul Krugman's false claim that there was a cholera outbreak in Puerto Rico. Yeah, they actually accused that there was a cholera outbreak because of Trump failed to respond to the hurricane in Puerto Rico, which caused a cholera outbreak. Which, I want to bang my head. Now, Krugman later apologized and said he got sloppy. No, you outright lied. Okay, cholera not confirmed. Conjunctivitis, yes. Lack of clean water. Situation worsening, not improving. Makes it a risk, but not certain. And what's going on? The supplies are there. The Teamsters Union refused to show up to transport these supplies to try to make Trump look bad. There's 12 mayors and 1 governor for Puerto Rico. The governor has praised, and they're Democrats, the governor has praised Trump, and 11 of the mayors out of the 12 have praised Trump. Now, the other one that has, going after Trump, she can't get supplies, but She can get printed T-shirts done. She can get custom printed T-shirts done quickly with no problem, but she can't get anything else into her country. Yeah. I think I'm going to claim shenanigans. Outright evil shenanigans. That's going to bring the show almost to a close here. And I want to thank everybody for being here tonight. It's been real. It's been fun. And we got coming up next is the Sackheads Radio Show. Again, it's going to be Sackhead Clint, BZ, and Dan the Man Butcher filling in for Sackhead Sean. With that, I'm going to cut out a minute or two early. That's the way, because YouTube's been totally screwing up with the shows overlaying like that. So I'm going to get out of here, give it time. See everybody tomorrow. Peace.
You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hppundit.com and shrmedia.com.